All right, folks. So it's day 172 of the year, and still working on the turkey burger avocado type of mixture to find a way to thicken it to make it more stable in a cooking situation, because it does kind of cook apart without the addition of breadcrumbs and stuff and such as that. So I got something else that I can experiment with so I can save my turkey. I got some TVP, some textured vegetable protein that they use in veggie burgers, which has the same issue as the turkey burgers do. Now, the ground turkey on its own holds itself together enough to make a burger, but when you add something that's a little more mushy or more liquidy, it kind of is a little harder to keep together on the grill and in the frying pan. So we're going to see if we can fix that problem. I got an idea in my head, and we're going to experiment with the TVP first, because as hard as it is for the ground turkey, it's even worse for the TVP. So let's see if we can get the TVP to stick together, and then we'll try turkey next. Sound like a plan? I like that plan. I got an idea. It should be a good one. I think it's going to be a good one. I hope it's a good one. Okay, so first I got me a mixing bowl out, just a small one, and I'm going to add 1/3 of a cup, which is just the size under a half cup, of this TVP. It's textured vegetable protein. And since everyone in the house is still asleep, I figured this would be the best way to test some of my burger experiments and not have to clutter a whole bunch of stuff up on the counter. So now I've got this pea protein, and it's actually mixed with quinoa, and I'm going to put about 2 scoops in here of this. This is also used in plant-based burger recipes. At least the pea protein is. Not sure about the quinoa, but that's what I got, so that's what we're using. Next, I'm going to use an egg as a binder and an emulsifier. I do not have any methylcellulose, and I'm a polytarian, so I am perfectly capable of having eggs. So then I'm going to season it with some Worcestershire sauce, and just going to put a good little bit of that in there. And then just going to give it a mix right here to try to get the egg and the Worcestershire incorporated into the mixture to hopefully form a meat. So far, it seems to be absorbing all of the egg and the Worcestershire sauce at this point, and it's starting to get a little thicker as well. So that is what we're looking for. The hope is it'll thicken up enough to where it will make a good tasting fake burger or substitute meat or whatever you want to call these things these days. But we're just going to have to find out as we go along. But yeah, I just want to scrape all the sides, get everything incorporated as best I can, and the smell of this thing is amazing with the Worcestershire sauce in there. So that is what we got going on so far, and just going to cover it up and let it sit and do its thing, and then place it into the refrigerator. Alright, so you see what I did there? I just used 1 large egg in the TVP mixture, and I also used some pea protein. I discovered that that's what a lot of the Impossible meats and stuff are made of, so I bought some of that to combine with my TVP, and it only took 2 tiny scoops of that to add to it to actually help with the thickening of that egg slash soy sauce mixture that I put in there. And I'm hoping I put enough liquid in there. I think I did. It all seemed to get pretty wet and sticky already. The TVP flakes were a little dry at this point, so it takes them a good 30 minutes or so to soak up moisture. So I'm going to give it about 30 minutes, and then I'll go back up there and heat up a pan, and we'll try to fry a little bit of it. But yeah, I think this is going to work, and if it does, then that's big news for my turkey burgers. And plus, you see how much that bulks up and makes. If that resembles a taste of any kind of burger at all, I will start adding that type of mix into my ground turkey to extend my meat further, because these are hard times, and turkey's getting expensive. All those ingredients are expensive, but when combined together like that, you can actually bulk up your food sources. And yeah, I mean, those things have nutrition in them, like vitamins, minerals, and different proteins, and they potassium, all that type of stuff's in those type of ingredients. The days of worrying about what what you're taking in are over, especially if you're have a struggling income like I do. You got to do whatever it takes to be able to feed your family. So these experiments, and me being a latchkey kid the way I was, and we had to experiment with food growing up in the 70s. I got to specify that, because those late Gen Xers, who were born in the late 80s, I meant in the late 70s, very early 80s, they didn't experience the whole hardships of Gen X the way some of us did coming up in the 70s. And they get very ill with me when I talk about those things, but those things did happen. If you're one of those Gen Xers who only focus on your little back end of the generation, maybe you should look at the generation as a whole. It goes all the way back to 1965. For a reason, things were different 15 years before you were born. Alright, that's enough rant. I was born in the sweet spot of Gen X in 71, where I experienced some of those hardships and things as they got better. So I seen the rise and fall of my generation, and I'll talk about that more as I go along and gain in popularity. But for now, we're just focusing on some good cheeseburgers. That's all. Just some good cheeseburgers. Now, I was thinking, when this mixture cools off, I think I will add a little bit of Crisco shortening in there. A lot of people, I know, have a thing against Crisco, seed oils, all that, but it's been around for generations, and I know people who survived into their mid to late 80s, like my mother-in-law yesterday. I was talking about eating vegetable shortening her entire life and is doing fine. It all depends on the person, the individual, the luck of the draw, in my opinion. And you can either live life, or you can live life scared. And I say they don't bury the scared, they bury the dead. But I'm going to add a little bit there into that, because when you cook hamburgers, they're supposed to grease up on their own without having to use any oils and stuff. But something tells me that vegetable protein is not going to do that, and it's going to need a little help. So I guess I could use regular cooking oil, which would probably help in the absorption of some of that TVP. But TVP also absorbs as it's heated as well. So adding a little bit of Crisco in there is not going to kill you. I mean, people are using things like what do they call it? Some kind of monodextrocellulose or some stuff like that in vegan burgers, and I looked that stuff up because I was interested in it. It's expensive, for one thing, and not only is it expensive, you're only supposed to consume it in light moderation because it can be bad for you as well. So I know you can consume an egg, and it's safe. And I think a little bit of Crisco shortening is safer than what some people are experimenting with these days. So I think I'll be just fine. I'm going to be good. Okay, so I took the mixture out of the refrigerator and I was just checking it out, and it's ultra firm as it is. I mean, it's like really firm, almost as thick as modeling clay. It's pretty darn thick. Now it absorbed all of the moisture from the egg and the Worcestershire sauce that I used. So I figure instead of the Crisco shortening, I'd just use some Crisco vegetable oil instead. And I just put a little bit in there, and I'm just going to spread it in there into that meat mixture. And I did add some steak seasoning in there as well, just for flavor. But I'm just going to mix and incorporate all that very well into this already moist mixture. My hope is that the vegetable oil will help it cook throughout while it's frying in the pan. I'm just going to lightly put a little bit down into the pan as well, just enough to cover it and get it frying. And I'm thinking once it heats up with the vegetable oil mixed in, that it will actually heat throughout the entire patty, and it should help all of it to cook better throughout the entire burger. Can I even call this a veggie burger anymore now that I've got egg in it? Can I call it a veg egg? I'm not sure what to call it, but we're going to cook it up and see how this thing tastes. I'll tell you what, I'm excited for it because it really is holding together very well. Look how it pushes around in the pan, and it just scoots around in there just perfect. And I flipped it a little early here just because I wanted to get the outer sides of each side coated with that oil in the bottom of the pan. I've got it on a medium heat, which was suggested by some of the other YouTubers who are cooking similarly to this. And yeah, as you can see, the way it's bubbling out, that's the insides cooking as well as the outsides at the same time. That's what is causing those foamy looking bubbles coming out. I mean, it is juicing up on the inside from adding the oil into the TVP and pea protein mixture there. So I think that was a really good idea, and it is firm. It is firmer than I thought it would be, or than what I was expecting. Now on the top there, I didn't film it, but I added a little bit of Carolina pepper vinegar barbecue sauce. It's just pepper vinegar based. It is very good on burgers and things, so I figured it'd be good on here. So I wanted it hot with the burger, so I just let it heat up on there, and I placed it between two pieces of bread, and there you go. Alright, so this was a flaming success. Look at that. Looks like real meat, chews like real meat. And I can't taste any egg in there at all. This tastes just almost like the real thing. It's pretty close, y'all. The egg really done the trick. It has the bite of a burger. Now, it's not perfect, so give me some more time with it. But it's this thing is better than the. I can't believe it. Mm. That pea protein, I got that at Walmart. And that TVP together, and that egg. It's got the bite and chew of real meat. I think I got a winner here, y'all. The only thing I'd do different is maybe add a little more Worcestershire sauce for moisture. But wow. Did that thing turn into a meat burger? And I didn't have to use any kind of weird, funky chemical ingredient that I had to order offline. The egg done the trick by itself. No, I know that that's not. Even little dogs can't tell the difference. I'll play around with that a lot more. But next, we're going to try a turkey burger like this. I won't be using any TVP for that, but I may use a little bit of that pea protein. Those two little tiny scoops of that went a long way. I am not believing that, y'all. I think I found my answer to a better avocado turkey burger. We'll see in a little while. Y'all, that thing was so close to the real thing. I still can't believe it. It was a little. It wasn't dry as in grittiness or dry like in grits or anything like that. I think I could have added a little more moisture to the meat. You ever got meat, hamburger meat, that was a little too lean, and when you cook it up, it's extremely lean, but it's still an edible, good tasting burger. It was kind of like that. I think maybe I didn't add quite enough moisture to it. Like I said, I'm brand new to experimenting with it, but boy, do I got some ideas in my head now. And I think next time I'm going to definitely add some more moisture to it. I don't know if that's going to come in the form of water or more egg or more Worcestershire. More than likely I'll do more Worcestershire for the straight up flavor, because Worcestershire is good for that. And I ain't believing it. Me made a fake cheeseburger. Uh, Now, methylcellulose is the ingredient that they use in vegan hamburgers, and it's an emulsifier, is what it is, and it's a very expensive one. You pay over $11 on Amazon for 2 ounce packet of it. Now, a tiny bit of it goes a long way, but it's supposed to be not that good for you either. So you're supposed to do it in moderation. It's taken as a laxative in pills, and they warn you not to take too much of it because it could cause you to choke, and it's something about choking, and especially in older people. So if you're not vegan, then egg is totally fine to use in it. I'm a pollitarian, so yeah, all birds I know about lay eggs. Alright, folks, so it is the end of the day, and I did experiment with some more ground turkey today with another failed attempt. Something about adding the avocado, which I used a pack of that frozen today, and I may have had too much avocado in there, and this time I mixed the avocado up with a blender and an egg, and 2 eggs actually, and it did not go well at all. I don't know why, but it was really, really mushy. I'm thinking maybe the avocado you can only use a tiny amount, and this is something I already talked about and I knew better, but I put a whole avocado in there anyway, and I think that is where the hiccup came in. And then normally I use avocado chunks, which tends to work out better in turkey burgers, just chunked up, at least I think so. That is where my success has lied, in the chunks. I think egg and ground turkey might be a success together, and then immediately grilled or fried. I think that might be a pretty good success on its own, but I did add some of the pea protein, and that pea protein actually has what do you call that stuff? I can't think of the name of it. Let's see if I can find out the name of that. God, what is the name of that? Quinoa. It's got quinoa powder in it. Now, the quinoa powder kind of acts like a flour, sort of. Quinoa is a grain, sort of like a rice, and it's kind of a starchy thing. And the pea protein that I bought is a combination of pea protein and quinoa mixture. So that is what I used in my veggie burger that you seen this morning, and then that was a great success, y'all. That was a wonderful, meaty tasting sandwich. Even though it wasn't real meat, it tasted like a real meat burger situation. Not perfectly like one, but pretty darn close. It kind of tasted, sort of like the like a burger, like a really lean meat hamburger. It was close enough that I could fool someone to thinking that they had a lean cut ground beef type of burger. If I were to give it to them with cheese and mustard, mayonnaise, and all that on there. But I put that Carolina pepper vinegar on the top of mine, and man, was that thing good. That thing was good. The turkey burger, so far for me, has been just seasoning the turkey meat on its own. And when I do the avocado, I just chop it up with my hand chopper, which leaves it kind of chunky, and I think that is why my avocado burgers were so good to start with, because I didn't cream it up. But creaming it up may be a no-go. It may be a no-go for sure. It just makes the mixture too slimy and too moist, and it just doesn't come together well. And do not use pea protein in ground turkey. That's also a no-go. Cause when I fried these up, they kind of tasted like, if you've ever ate a salmon patty, the pea protein quinoa combination kind of made an outer crust, sort of like a salmon patty. Now, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't what I was expecting or what I was wanting. So scrapping that project. No, not doing that no more. I think with turkey, I think the egg is going to be your best emulsifier, just straight mixed in the meat with seasonings, whatever seasonings you choose. If you're going to use Worcestershire or anything like that, you got to be careful, because that's going to add even more moisture to it. So I think with ground turkey, you're better off with maybe just egg and seasonings on their own. But now, like I said, I use the frozen ground turkey. If I got the leaner cut ground turkey, the straight, the more of the white meat texture, I might have had better success with it. I don't know. I'm not giving up. I'm just having to recuperate and reformulate a plan. But in the middle of all of that, if I hadn't have been trying to experiment, I would not have created this veggie burger that I did today. I know before my wife went in the hospital last week, you heard me talk about eating that Beyond Burger at Applebee's, and that was a good burger, and I really enjoyed it, and it had a really good burger taste. And I was wanting to experiment with making those anyway, and I come close enough today to call that a successful recipe, to be honest with you. It was pretty darn good. Like I said, if I want to do anything extra to that, I'd want to add a lot more Worcestershire sauce in there, and I think that would be just amazing. But anyway, that is all I have for today. And until tomorrow, you folks have a good one.